Look, guys, Manny is just making sure that he has all of his excuses lined up if we lose to North Carolina. He wants to make sure that he has an alibi. What's going on, Canes fans, and welcome to, yes, another Manny Diaz video on this channel. It truly seems like every other video that I'm posting right now is just about our head coach Manny Diaz, but understandably so, because it's a hot topic and it's all Canes fans want to talk about right now. And I want to take just a moment to vent once again and express my frustrations with Manny Diaz, because I feel like right now, we're going to talk about this. I feel like that right now, Manny is just setting up an alibi. He's lining up the excuses. So if we do, in fact, lose to North Carolina this Saturday, which is very likely, he can say, I tried to tell you guys. I tried to warn everyone that, we were having issues and this thing happened and that thing happened, and that's why we lost. Hats off to North Carolina and the game that they put together against us on Saturday. Does that sound familiar? So let me back this up a little bit with some things that Manny Diaz has said lately and some things that are going on at the University of Miami. So first off, as of today, on Wednesday, October 13th, there were 10 or more Miami Hurricanes players that have missed practice due to some type of illness, to being sick, a virus. Now, Manny made it known that it's not COVID related, but there has been a bug going around campus that has a lot of our football players sick right now, so they're missing practice. Now, number one, do I think that players are actually sick? Yeah, I mean, there could very easily be something going around. And I do understand both sides of the argument with this. Number one, the fact that Manny is just relaying the information, because people are going to ask, well, why is such and such not on the field? Something must be going on, and it'll turn into a bunch of other stuff. It'll escalate to a bunch of people making conspiracy theories and all these other things. So I understand why he has to address it. He's just letting everybody know, hey, a lot of players on the team are sick. I hope it doesn't impact Saturday, but I'm just letting you know they're sick right now, so they may not be able to play on Saturday because, they're going to have limited time to prepare because they're not out there practicing. The issue I have here, man, and I hate that I have to think this way, is the fact that Manny likes to use excuses. There's a reason why a lot of people refer to him as Politician Manny when they always make the reference to his dad, who is in politics, right? There's a reason why they do that. I feel personally like there is a lot of emphasis being put on this because, well, when you have 10, 15, 20 players that are sick all week during game week when they need to be practicing and preparing, maybe we should let this loss just slide a little bit because we didn't have our best players on the field and we weren't fully prepared. So like I said, I'm not saying that there aren't players sick. I 100% believe that they are. I'm just saying the Manny that I know, that I've grown to know over these last 3 seasons, would use this in the press conference post-game and make sure that he mentions it several times, because it would kind of sort of be used as an excuse for taking an L. Am I right or am I wrong? Let me know. Maybe I'm thinking way too much about this. Maybe I'm looking too much into it. So let's also talk about this little fight at practice that happened during the bye week. I didn't really address it or touch on it because, in my opinion, fighting at practice does happen occasionally. Back whenever I played football in high school, yes, for those of you that don't know, for the 100th time, I did play football in high school. I played wide receiver, and I did help out on scout team at safety and corner. But it was just at the high school level, guys. It's nothing crazy, nothing wild. All right, they'll literally take anybody in high school to play football, even if you're a $130 like me, soaking wet. Fights happened a lot, actually, and I know that's the high school level. It's not college. But when you're out there, you're competing, even if they're your friends, things tend to get heated. Guys start jawing. You're fighting for your position, and it can get a little rowdy sometimes. And fights happened throughout the history of the Miami Hurricanes practices. Go back and look at some of these guys that played in the 80s and the 90s and the early 2000s, and they'll tell you, A lot of it came down to holding guys accountable. You know, when they weren't performing, guys got in each other's face and each other's ear, and it would cause some fights. So I didn't see a big issue with it. But apparently, the fighting happened between some younger guys and some upperclassmen. And this is where things get a little bit interesting with this, because Manny has said, at least now anyways, that a lot of the upperclassmen are going to see less playing time because they're not performing. They're not playing up to the Miami standard. Now, this is something that Canes fans have been saying since Manny Diaz has been here, as he continued to play the seniority card and let the upperclassmen play regardless of their performance. And this is where my problem is with this. A lot of these upperclassmen are upset because they're getting less playing time. Mark Pope, Wiggins. There's a lot of guys that I could name, right? I don't want to call out players specifically because I don't know if they're the ones making a big deal out of this, but it could be, okay? So I understand why they're upset, and it's because, as I just said, Manny set the standard of playing veteran guys regardless of their performance. So that is what they're used to. They're used to having their spots secure regardless of what happened during that week at practice, regardless of what they did last week during the game. It didn't matter because Manny was going to play you anyways. And now Manny's on the hot seat. Everybody's calling for Manny's head. And lo and behold, all of a sudden he's making changes. But in my opinion, it's too little too late. We've been screaming and yelling for him to play some of these younger guys because they have been performing when they've been put in. But then the depth chart comes out and it's the same guys playing week in and week out. And lo and behold, it's usually the veteran guys. So what point am I trying to get at here with this? Because this could be a whole nother topic for another video. I still see this as a potential excuse for Manny, because he's bringing up the fact that the locker room is maybe getting slightly divided here. We don't have the team unified, and there's some separation happening here between the upperclassmen and the younger players especially. And I feel like this is once again another excuse to be piled on potentially that we're going through some locker room issues right now. We're having some unity issues here. And like I said, I'm probably jumping to conclusions, and I hope that I am. That's what this video is. This is maybe some type of conspiracy conclusion jumping video. But like I said, the Manny that I know will use this as excuse material, a divided locker room. And just look at some of the quotes that we have from Manny over the past few weeks. I'm not quoting these exactly word for word. Just keep that in mind. But I know at one point he mentioned something about the rest of our games just are going to be tight for the rest of the year because that just is what it is. That's loser talk, bro. And it really bugs me the way that he words these things in the interviews. And you guys probably remember that not long after the App State game, or maybe it was immediately after the App State game, referring specifically to it, Manny said something along the lines of, that's just what those guys do to people. I realized that we ended up winning that game, right? But it was way too close for comfort when it shouldn't have been. Don't give me the App State argument again. It shouldn't have been that close. And he said, that's just what they do to people. And if I'm not mistaken, that App State team that hung with us for 4 quarters and was an absolute nail biter just got absolutely spanked by, wait a minute, I have to double check this. Like we're just rolling with it right now. I'm just making sure that I didn't dream this. It was the Ragin' Cajuns, right? That defeated App State. The App State that just does this to everybody, gives them trouble. The Louisiana Lafayette Ragin' Cajuns beat App State 41-13 the other day. If that doesn't show you how far behind we are in college football, how much this program has dropped into the dumps, then I don't know what else to tell you. And I feel like I said, with that stuff, that Manny is just setting up an alibi. He's setting up excuses. He's just going to go ahead and come out and say the rest of our games are probably going to be close. And then when we lose, he's going to come out and say, I told you guys. I warned you. Look at the interviews. I told you they were going to be close. Remember, I told you that we had 10 to 15 players sick. Remember, I told you that we have a divided locker room right now and we're trying to work through some things. I've already said it. This is like the fourth time. For the people who are going to say, Coop, you're putting words into Manny's mouth. He hasn't actually said these things yet post-game. Some of these things he has said. But like I said, the Manny that I know, I don't know any different. I've been trained to just accept and think and know that Manny is going to just go ahead and use excuses in the post-game interviews, because he's not about accountability. He's about congratulating the opponent on the excellent game plan that they put together and then making excuses. That's the Manny Diaz that I know. And I'm going to go ahead and warn you that as much as this coaching staff loves Tyler Van Dyke, myself included, and we're not going to get into the conversation about the O-line and all that stuff. Tyler Van Dyke has a bright future. He can be a fantastic quarterback, but he does need an O-line to hold up for him. North Carolina has struggled against mobile quarterbacks this season. Just look at the rushing yards put up by Sims in the Georgia Tech game, 128 yards. Look at the FSU game. FSU beat North Carolina. Jordan Travis put up 121 yards rushing. That's wild, bro. I can already also see this one now. We lost Derek King, our mobile quarterback, because Tyler Van Dyke is not a dual threat. I can already see the excuse rolling in that we lost our leader, Derek King, on offense. It really got the team down. We lost our mobile quarterback, which could have extended plays and could have gave us some extra rushing yards, because goodness knows our rushing game is terrible. And that contributed to our loss to North Carolina. You know what, guys? This is what North Carolina, this is what they do to everybody. Is it, bro? Because they lost to FSU. Again, maybe I'm jumping to conclusions, and maybe we find a way to beat Mac Brown and North Carolina because they're down and out right now. But I just feel like an excuse train is coming, and I feel like that Manny is making sure he has all of his ducks in a row, so when everybody starts pointing fingers and the Twitterverse blows up, social media in general blows up, the fans are heated, they're gassing up the planes for the next Hard Rock game, Manny can say, I tried to warn you guys. So yeah, that's really it. This video was literally me venting about Manny Diaz once again. I told you guys earlier, there were people that thought I was defending him in my video when I said Manny tried. He did try. He does love the University of Miami. The problem is even though he is trying his best, it's not enough. Manny Diaz is just not head coaching material, and it is what it is. I don't think 5 years, 7 years, 10 years is going to magically turn Manny Diaz into a head coach. I just don't think that he's truly head coaching material. And maybe he is at a lesser school, but he sure isn't head coaching material at the University of Miami. So I just think Manny's lining up the excuses because he knows it's going to be a rough couple of weeks coming up in ACC play. After North Carolina, we got NC State, who's currently like number 20 or number 22 in the country. Man, let's not even get on that conversation right now. So really, this was just another venting video for 10, 15 minutes, whatever the heck it was. Leave your comments down below. You can vent, do whatever. You can be positive. You can be negative. It don't matter. You can agree with me, disagree with me. If you want to unsubscribe, I'm going to address this real quick at the end of this video. If you want to unsubscribe because you don't agree with my opinion, here's my response to you. Peace out. Literally, guys, I appreciate every view. I appreciate every comment, every share. But I don't understand why people get so heated when someone has a different opinion than they do. You realize you can still respect someone because they have a different opinion from you, right? I let you voice your opinion down in the comment section, regardless of whether it's the same as mine or not. I don't delete it. I leave it because you might have a different opinion than me. And you know what? That's okay, bro, because you just want Miami to be great again, same as me. We just have a different idea of how to get there. And there's nothing wrong with that. So I'm not trying to be super negative with that. I'm just saying, don't be that soft, man. Just because someone has a different opinion than you, don't just completely go off and explode and get mad. Talk it out and agree to disagree. It's okay to do that sometimes. Remember though, guys, we're all one big happy college football family, but at the end of the day, I gotta say, it's always better still when you get to rep the U. Coach Coop, peace out.